All right. So excited to share this sacred space with you. Again, my name is Wendy Bunnell, for those of you that just popped on. But you can thank several of you that approached us, including my daughter-in-law, that said, I'm so sad that I left that beautiful community that we created at Yin on Fire. Now I'm home and I want that same thing. I want that same experience. And so we took that to heart in one of our meetings, and we all came up with this idea of, what if we were to continue this throughout the year by coming together at Family Soul Evenings. So here we are. We're going to give you an opportunity to learn, to grow, and then to break out into rooms so you can get to know each other a little bit. We'll be utilizing those rooms in a really profound way tonight. It's going to be pretty light, and we're just going to be getting to know you, your name, where you're from, and some other things that we've got planned for you. So that's our intention today. We want to pour into you. We want to learn and grow and create this community that we created in 4 days and 3 nights, and we want to continue on before next year. So before I forget, there's 2 little things that I want to do housekeeping wise. First one is that on our website, we have a place that if you had a profound experience with a workshop provider or someone who was presenting on stage, you can go on there and you can literally go and find their information, their Facebook profile, their Instagram profile, their website. You can find out a little bit more about them. And so I'm going to put that in the chat as we get going. You're going to get 2 things in that chat here in about 5 minutes. That first one is that workshop presenters, just copy it and paste it for some other time. We want you to be fully present here. The second one is, many of you know Hoon and I, who was the one that worked directly hand in hand with me to bring all of those amazing artists that you saw. Yaima, Ruby Chase, Runaway Fire, Mr. OK in the Last Light. He was the one that curated that experience with me. And he is bringing Natalie Rise into St. George Wednesday night. So the tickets are really relatively inexpensive, $35. We'd love for you to be there if you want. So I'm going to also give you a ticket or a link for that too, because we want to promote things that are of the same energy that we are wanting to build our community on. And these are conscious artists that we feel would be of value to some of you out there that are local. Okay, with that being said, we drew a card for y'all. This is one of my favorite decks. It's the Kuan Yin Oracle deck. We wanted to know where we were going tonight. What was the focus of what tonight would be on? And Sal drew a card. It's number 1. It looks like this. Actually, it looks like that. I don't know if you can see that. Above you, the lantern dancer. So just think about this as, these aren't my glasses, so I don't even know if I can read with this. Yes, I can. Above you, the lantern dancer. Look beyond what appears to be. Guiding grace like a star in the sky shows the way through what is happening now. I am the lantern dancer, lighting the way to a new path, a new reality for you. Even when the moon is full and you believe that you see all as it is, I know there is something far more beautiful happening. Trust me, and I will show you. There are times when we feel as though nothing seems to be flowing. We encounter obstacles and closed doors. We wait for another door to open, but nothing seems to happen. We may begin to doubt ourselves and whether our dreams are even possible. Let go of your fixed opinion and worries. Trust in the power of the divine to work things out in the best possible way. You don't have to work out the solution yourself. You just need to trust your inner guidance and allow yourself to be led. There is more to this situation than meets the eye. Ask the divine to show you what you need to know. Practical solutions can come, but first you need to step back and gain some higher perspective. So we're going to do the healing process. Place one hand over your heart and take in 3 slow breaths, in and out, in and out, in and out. Say aloud or quietly in your mind, I call on Kuan Yin, her wild soul, the lantern dancer who loves me unconditionally. Please show me with mercy and grace whatever I need to see or understand to have faith in what is happening. Help me find the highest path here, the path of light, of least resistance, to more effortlessly manifest the intentions of my heart. So be it. I say that often, and I learned it from Angel, actually. What can I see past what I know? And that's what that card is, and that's what you're going to learn today. So all of us have things that are on our minds, maybe worries, solutions that we're trying to find. And so often it's beyond what we can see. So ask the question, what is beyond what is there staring me in the face? What is a solution that's beyond what I can conceptually see? And ask for that guidance. The next thing I want to do, and we're going to be doing this every Monday night, one of the things that's very profound in any group situation is celebrations, gratitude, love in action. So I'm going to ask 3 separate people to spend 60 seconds or less celebrating something, anything, so that we can raise the vibration of this group before we go into listening and receiving understanding and knowledge. If you want, raise your hand. I'll select you, whoever I see first. I will invite you to unmute. Who would like to share a celebration today? Who would like to be someone who wants to help us collectively be in this space of receiving and understanding today? Is there anybody out there? I'm looking for hands. I'm looking for hands.
Ollie
Hornet. Okay.
Okay, this morning I got to take my kids to horse therapy. So we got to hang out with horses and like feel their energy. And every one of my kids got on the horse and I got on the horse. So it was great. And then my other kids are at gymnastics, and my eldest daughter's here, just turned 9 over the weekend, and we collected seeds together so we can like make rattles. So just nature and love and animals.
Such a celebration, that connection. That's what we live for, to connect to ourselves, to connect to others, to connect to the divine. And you did all 3 today. How great. Yay. Everybody give her a round of applause. This is awesome. All right. Second person. I'm looking for hands. I'm looking for hands. Ah, Dana.
I want to celebrate all the connections that have come since Yin, particularly with Brianna. I'm over here. I did a Facebook Live with her this morning, and we've had a couple of wonderful interactions. And I'm just on fire for her and what she's creating and what she's doing. And I'm so excited we get to learn from her tonight. But I just want to fully celebrate her incredible brilliance and the gifts that she offers and what she brings to the table. And I'm thrilled that we all get to participate in that tonight. So I just wanted to celebrate her.
Oh, everybody, round of applause. That is so true. Brianna is going to step right into her absolute spiritual gifts and share it with you all tonight. You're in for such a treat. And Dana, thank you so much. We have so many people we get to learn from, so many people we get to connect and grow from. And you're one of them. You have spiritual gifts and you get to learn about those tonight. You get to unpack and reveal and understand in a greater depth how powerful and beautiful and whole you are. So, okay, we've got one last share before we go into the heart and soul of tonight, which is going to be learning. Then we're going to go out into our rooms, in smaller rooms. Anybody? I'm looking for hands. I'm looking for hands. Oh, I see Andrea.
I have to share today. Can you hear me?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Today sucked in the most major way, but I am standing. I am over COVID almost. And my shingles are almost gone. And so I am just celebrating that my body let me know what I needed, and I totally gave it everything that it needed.
Mm-hmm. Love it. I love that you're celebrating health and wellness. I love that you're celebrating that your body expressed what it needed to express to get your attention. So well done. And the fact that you're here tonight, even though you had a day that was stretchy, right? It was stretchy. So here you are. Thank you, Andrea. Okay, you guys, I am so excited and thrilled to share one of my beautiful soul sisters next. and watching her just blossom. Sal came up with a sweet little nickname. She's our Bumblebee. And it fits her so well. Bree came into my life, and I'm going to be honest with you, human design was just like, I had 3 or 4 people talk to me about human design, and I was like, whatever, I just don't even understand why that's a big deal, or why that should apply to me, or why I should care, right? And Bree brought it in such a profound way into my life that allowed me to understand that I was designed to show up in my life in this manner. And this was what was natural. And this was what my spiritual gifts were, and what my experience could look like if I worked with the flow and the flow of the river instead of against the flow of the river, right? Allowing other people to fill in those places that were not designed for me to experience in this life. I can try, and I can grow, and I can stretch, and I can want those things, but they don't come natural to me. They come natural to other people. I've also seen her do this for my business, my clients, my business colleagues. And what I've discovered is when I understand that on a deeper basis, I can have different conversations with them that mean and have more significance with them. I can also meet them where they're at. If I know if they're a generator, then I would direct the conversation in one way. If I know that they're a projector, I know it's a completely different conversation and a completely different expectation, right? And I can meet them where they're at. It has completely changed my business. It has completely changed my family relationships, my family dynamics, for me to understand on an intimate level of how I can meet my children and my spouse in the manner that they were designed to show up in this world. It has allowed me to feel more compassion, more love, more connection. And so there you go. David Hatch is here from Australia. He's watching us. All right, we love it. So without further ado, Bree, share your magic with us, sis.
I would love to. So I'm really excited. What comes to mind is 2 things really briefly. Thank you, Dana, for the share. Thank you guys for showing up for yourselves. And thank you for trusting that Yin on Fire is the place that you're supposed to be tonight. And it is about community. So I love that we've already picked a card that talks about our inner compass, because my goal and my intention by the end of a 30-minute training is that you walk away with knowing that your inner authority is just that, it's inner. It's not outside of you, and it's not another person. It's not another guidance system or another tool. And my goal here is that you'll walk away just knowing that you are fully supported when you align with your authority. So if I use terminology you don't understand, we've got Sal and Wendy that will manage the comment sections. So we'll try to keep that simple. And I actually need sharing permissions, if that's okay, from one of you girls, so I can share my screen. But by a raise of hands, while that's happening, how many of you guys have heard of human design or have maybe gone into it deeper? Who already has somewhat of an understanding, a knowing, or a familiarity with it? So it's letting me share now. Awesome. And then how many of you guys have no idea what the heck human design is? So I say human design and you're like, what's that? Anybody? Some of you? I love that. Okay. So let me know if you can see this full screen. So like Wendy was saying, I'm Brianna. If I haven't met you personally, I'm excited to get to know you. And human design is one of my most favorite tools in the toolbox to really understand ourselves, and more importantly, really how to understand others, and past that, how to live in harmony with our environment and our world. So by raise of hands, how many of you guys have ever asked the question, who am I? Raise your hand if you've thought it or have at least wondered, right? At some level, even deeper, have you asked the question, why am I here? Does anyone want to know what the hell their purpose is? Like, tell me what I'm supposed to do and I'll do it. You get to that point of frustration. Well, the human design, I want to preface first, it's not a personality test, okay? So truly understanding your potential will begin here, and here's why. Human design is a synthesis of ancient and modern sciences. So your personality is totally changeable. It changes all the times. So how many of you guys experience your personality and it changes depending on who you're with, depending on who you're around, right? This is not that. And I think so many people overlook it because they feel that it's just another test. It's not that. It's an actual system. So the system is you. Human design is the umbrella for all the other pillars like astrology, the chakras, Kabbalah, I Ching, quantum physics, epigenetics, including gene keys. How many of you guys actually love science? Do I have any people in here that love science, that love the facts? Tell me the facts. I want to know what the facts are. Okay. Human design is so much more than anything that you could ever understand in a personality test, and here's why. If you understood that your design was divine, you would never operate outside of it. The problem is you don't understand your design, so you're working, like Wendy says, you're working upstream when life is supposed to be flow. How many of you guys want more flow and ease and sustainability in your lives? Okay, it's actually not a fantasy. It's real. You just have to understand the mechanics of how you work. I like to compare this to the algorithms of social media. How many of you guys like love social media? Just be honest. You love it or you don't, and it's okay with where you are. Raise your hand if you love it. Okay. So here's my philosophy on why I've chosen to dedicate my entire life to this work. If we would understand our own mechanics and our own algorithm and stop studying social media's algorithm, we would understand what actual success looks like. Does that feel true? If you understood your own mechanics, your own energy, your own ticks within you, you would know what to work towards, right? So here's the idea. Our conditioning will form our behavior and the way that we respond to the world around us. In other words, we become the product of our lived experiences and the meaning that we have given to them. If we accept the premise that the goal in life is to unlearn our conditioned survival responses, to truly remember who we are, free from our conditioning, then human design will take this philosophy one step further into the realm of subatomic matter and epigenetics. So in other words, how many of you are so tired of identifying with your past, with your experiences, with your learned survival mechanisms? Raise your hand if that shit is so not working for you. Okay, I love the honesty. Here's the truth. The basic premise of human design is that as the soul enters the body, it's 88 days before our birth. So our being is imprinted by neutrinos that pass through it. So a neutrino is a subatomic particle in the study of quantum physics. And basically its mass is close to zero. So the parts of you that these neutrinos pass through are imprinted with those energies. And these imprints actually create what is referred to in the human design system as the self. In other words, it's who you truly are. So imagine time and space before coming into matter, which is your physical body. You were imprinted with what we can call gifts and your true authentic self. That part of you is who you are naturally. And it's the energy of who you are because it's consistent, it's fixed, and it's sustainable. Now, how many of you guys, when you feel into this sentence, feel the truth of self-discovery is the greatest form of service? How many of you resonate with that? Self-discovery is the greatest form of service. And if you don't yet, that's okay. So here's what I want you guys to know. The road of unlearning is the goal. And here's why. The parts of you that are not imprinted make up what is referred to as the not self theme. This is who you think you are, but you are not. This is where you are susceptible to external influence and conditioning. It's where you are receptive. It's where you take in the energy of those that are around you. Human design is the blueprint for who we truly are in the world. And for those that love science, this is the process of differentiation. So what that's really saying is that your ego thinks that it needs to be something and it's obsessed with being that thing because it wants to feel resolved. How many of you guys feel like you're at conflict with yourself a lot of the time? Raise your hand. Conflict on what you should do for work, conflict on who you should be friends with, conflict on the direction you should go, conflict on whatever it is. Let me show you why you're having inner conflict. So first you'd have to understand why the heck use the system? Like, who cares? What's the buy-in for you? How does this benefit you, right? Well, when you know who you truly are and you create based on who you are, there is a joy that blossoms from within. You stop playing the game of hide and seek, and you have found the real meaning of life. To unlearn from the distortion that you are broken, and to reclaim the truth that you are perfection in motion, because limitless is your real nature. Sorry. Your purpose is to live on purpose. But some of us don't live because we're so obsessed with looking for the thing to feel resolved. You guys feel that? We can't live, we can't be happy yet. We have all these things we have to fix, and then we'll be happy. That's the lie. How many of you guys crave security and stability in your lives? Raise your hand. Okay, here's the truth. We do not need to sacrifice our soul for material gain and progress. So gene keys is the foundation from which your DNA and your genetics operate both consciously and unconsciously. So when we dedicate our lives to this work, we are releasing victimhood, we're outing our shadows, and then we're embodying our gifts. So when we're unapologetic to who we are, then we no longer dim our light. Now I want you to tune into this next statement. Real progress is awareness. How many of you guys feel like in order to progress, you have to sacrifice something to thrive in the material world? Raise your hand. I have to cut off some of me or be less of me, and then I'll get fill in the blank. Okay. So here's what's exciting. I want you guys to actually, whether it be right now or as I continue, the to do here is to download this app. It's the Human Design app. And I really love this specific one for many reasons. It lets you enter in charts of those around you, and it doesn't cost a dang thing. So your education is totally free. There are some apps that don't include the totality of what this app will show you. So that's the picture of it. And this book, this book could be an entire presentation in of itself. It's called the Gene Keys book. Now, one of my favorite reasons for teaching this process is because most people will shut down when things are complex. How many of you, and be honest, will quit at something the moment it feels too complex? Raise your hand. If it's complex and it requires lots of energy and focus, I'm out. So one of my gifts through human design is the ability to simplify abstract and complex systems. Go figure. So here's Gene Keys, and it's the book that is responsible for showing you your DNA inside of your body. So the idea is mom and dad, they came with their own gifts, their genetic makeup. And then when they created you, you were very specifically imprinted within your DNA. Understanding that information alone is going to dramatically alter your life. And the one thing I need to solidify for you here is that inside of human design is the gene key system. So they're not separate. Human design encompasses the gene keys and astrology and the I Ching and the Kabbalah and all of the epigenetics. So if you've heard of one or some of those things, think of human design as the umbrella. Okay. And this will be recorded, so we'll come back to it. So the real intent of this short training is to talk to you specifically about your strategy and your authority. The reason for that is because without knowing these two things, human design is just a concept. It doesn't mean anything if you are not willing to trust your body and to trust the information presented. So the old way of strategy, the world has taught you that strategy means what? Strategy is control, right? If I just control more things, then things won't go wrong. And if things don't go wrong, I won't feel pain. And if I don't feel pain, then I'm okay. That's the old way of control. And that's the old strategy that you've been using based on your conditioning to stay alive. Is this making sense? You shake your head if it is, or if you're lost. So know where you're at? Okay, perfect. So strategy is actually based off of the type of energy that you are. There are 5 different energy types, and each has a different strategy in living out their best life. So imagine that you're manifesting, like the card said that we pulled, right? We're going to create a new reality. If you were going to create anything, it would probably be wise to know your strategy. don't you think? And imagine knowing your strategy and how empowering it is to know that your strategy is not how everyone else will approach life either. So it becomes really, really compassionate learning when we understand our unique gifts and talents. The vision I have for this system for the world on a bigger globe is that we're working in synergy. Synergy is when we work together. So imagine 5 different energy types working together in a cyclical nature. Right now in the world, we see hierarchy. So there's steps. I'm above you, you're above me, blah, 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 right? Exhausting. So here's the strategy for each type that you are. Generators, you are here to respond. And we'll go into depth in just a little bit. Manifesting generators, you are also a generator, so you are here to respond and then inform. So there's 2 pieces to that. Manifestors, you are here to initiate. Projector, you are here to wait for the invitation. And reflectors, you are to wait a lunar cycle. Now, these are just these are just terminologies, but we will get into what that means. So think of strategy as the way the universe designed you to have everything that you desired and more. So this is when you find deep fulfillment, success, peace, surprise, and even deep contentment. How many of you guys experience fulfillment, success, peace, surprise, and deep contentment 80% of the time, most of your day? Raise your hand. Okay, we get to know why we're not experiencing that, if that's true. How many of you guys experience anger, frustration, bitterness, withdrawal, and again, frustration? Is that most of your experience? Okay, all that means is that you're an energy type trying to be another energy type. Generators, you're trying to be manifestors. You want to initiate things and then you're exhausted. Manifesting generators, you're trying to be projectors and tell the world how it is, and you're not actually in alignment with what you're here to do. Just like reflectors, they want to be generators. They want all the energy of a busybody. So if this is starting to make sense, really your strategy is the bigger way that your energy wants to interact with life. So strategy just means this is how I need to operate in order for life to keep serving me more of what I want. Now let's talk about authority. So previous to what I'm about to tell you, you've probably been told that authority is someone else outside of you. So it's your spouse, or it's someone at work, or it's your best friend. How many of you guys, when you're looking for an answer, go to Google? Raise your hand. You Google that. You're like, tell me what to do. Tell me. And so here's the truth. Your authority has one clear direction, and it's in the body. You cannot make your decisions from your mind, because mind has limited understanding. There's either a right or there's a wrong. And how many of us have been trained to make decisions from our mind? All of us, right? So I'm going to expose you to a new truth. If we don't make decisions from our mind because there's only a right or a wrong, then real authority means that we're using our body and our mind together to get into alignment. How many of you guys are told, just get into alignment and things will go better? Well, what does that mean? What's alignment mean, right? Okay, so there are 8 types of authorities. You're either an emotional authority, a sacral authority, a splenic, ego, self-projected, G-center, lunar, or not listed. Now, these different authorities just mean that they are the ruler of your life, and this would be the only place that you would ever dare make a life decision from, because this is your inner compass. So when I teach you about human design, what I'm really teaching you is how to trust your inner compass. We do not need to learn from anger, from bitterness, from frustration and pain any longer, but we will continue to learn that way until we trust our authority. Does that make sense? So some of you are wondering, well, what is my strategy? What is my type? So the reason I have you download that app is so that you can understand. In the top right corner, it will tell you what type you are, and then it will tell you your strategy, and then it will tell you your authority. Okay. So the next thing I want to share with you is actually an experience I had to show you how monumental this process can be if you'll take it on, if you'll let it be more than just a concept or a theory. So for those that don't know my story and didn't get to hear it yet on fire, I've been divorced twice by the age of 25. I've experienced every form of abuse outside of myself in the form of marriage and relationships. What I didn't understand is why I had to continue to learn what getting married and then divorced looked like on top of being abused in every form. I share that because before I actually got married, I felt a body response that my mind couldn't understand. I came into contact with my husband at the time, who was actually just a friend, and my gut, as a sacral authority, said, Now, my mind didn't understand that. So when we don't understand our design, when we don't understand these particular concepts, we'll keep learning the same trauma because that's what mom and dad showed us. Are you with me? So learned trauma is learned conditioning. It's who I thought I was. So when I heard which was my internal compass, and I couldn't reason with it because it made no sense, I didn't listen to it. I walked into the marriage and experienced the worst pain that I had ever experienced. Okay. I share that with you because, again, after learning this system, on the other side of having that experience, I learned that I could always trust the first gut response, even without the reasoning, because I was humiliated enough times that I was willing to let my body be a part of the process. And I share that with you because so many times our pain comes because we don't understand. Human design is the key that says, if you'll trust your authority, you won't have to learn the same lesson due to conditioning, due to the world, or due to pain. Does that make sense? So when we don't understand ourselves at this level, when we let other people tell us who we are, we will become victim to the things that break our hearts. The key is compassion for ourselves. The key is more love and grace, not less. The one last thing I'll preface is saying that building integrity with ourselves takes time. So the number one mishap I see with human design is we want to go into theories and concepts and all of the exciting things like gene keys. But if we don't start with strategy and authority, we're in trouble. It's your foundation, right? Because then your mind wants to go down the loopholes of all the other exciting things. So you'll see when you pull up your profile, there are 2 numbers, and this is what's called your profile. This is the first, this is the first and most exciting thing to know about any number inside of any chart. The first number in your profile is how you see and relate to yourself. And the second number is how society and other people actually perceive you. So have you ever experienced a mishap where you know who you are or have an idea, but the world is like, I think you're this? Has anyone experienced that with strangers? All the time, you're like, no, actually. So there's a reason for that. Understanding these numbers will heal relationship after relationship when you no longer project your needs onto someone else and you see that they're not designed to explore life and learn life the way that you might be. What a relief. We can stop controlling people. Now, these numbers will unfold some very profound truths and what you need in order to thrive, regardless of your circumstance. So remember how I shared my story just a moment ago? Inside of my profile, it actually suggests that until I was about 30 years old, I would be unconscious or sleepwalking, to have very painful experiences, so that once I hit about 30, I could have some wisdom to share. Here I am. So I actually don't regret that because I have validation. And let's be honest, validation externally is a drug, it's a hit. But when you see it for what it is, when you actually tangibly see a system that is you, and it's not outside of you, but it's actually you, so much healing comes when I can look you in the eyes and say, you are designed and your life is on track because your profile suggests you are on track. You cannot get it wrong. So it's not so black and white. And here's the beauty in this. I want you guys to really understand on a very basic level that any teaching can be taught incorrectly or from a limiting perspective. So by a raise of hands, how many of you guys have been taught a limiting version of something that didn't feel true? Like someone said something and it didn't feel true for whatever reason. If someone ever tells you in human design that the white centers where you're open is where you lack, you're being misguided. So I'm going to share with you what I think is most important when you're looking at a chart. Where you see color right here, this is what is called defined centers. Okay. This is meaning that there is definition in color because there is energy there. If there is energy there, it's sustainable because it's you. If you see there is a space that is open or undefined, in that section, there is wisdom. Okay. If I can get the separation to happen in your mind and understand that, you're going to have amazing breakthroughs. And here's why. The way it's being taught in the world is that if it's white or open, you're broken or lacking. That does not feel good. Who wants to hear that? No, thanks. Now, when I tell you that's actually where you're the most wise, you're like, huh. Well, your not self-theme is not okay with just being receptive. It's actually addicted to drama and struggle. So even though we say we don't want to struggle, sometimes we do. And here's why. Your not self-theme, the places where you're open or white, like these areas, wants to be the thing that it's not. And this is the paradox of life. So my question to you is, how comfortable are you with being you, where there's color, while allowing the open centers to be what you thought was broken, empty, wrong, or uncomfortable? Okay. So what it's saying is that where you're open is actually where you experience the world around you. The key is not to become identified with it. Have you guys ever noticed when you go in public, you experience different things? Do some of you experience anxiety in large groups or experience anxiety in different environments, maybe anxiety with certain people? What you're really actually experiencing is that when you're in your own aura by yourself, it feels good because those open centers are not experiencing anything. That's why you love that time. But when you're around anyone other than yourself and they're colored where you're not, you're experiencing them through your body. So when we say we don't need each other, we're full of crap because we learn so much from one another. The goal is to let ourselves be ourselves while allowing someone to be them. Okay. So the defined centers, when I say defined, again, I'm talking about colors. They are consistent and they're always imprinting around people. So that just means if it's colored, I'll go back a slide. If you see color, it's actually imprinting onto the world, okay? Where it's white, it's receptive. So you can think of yin and yang. I like that analogy because one is imprinting and one is receptive. And then one is receptive and one is imprinting. So I want you guys to walk away knowing that your open centers are your gift after you see that they are actually not your curse. The open center is addicted to having constant energy there so that you don't experience, although you do, burnout, overwhelm, and backbiting and back fixing everything in your life so you can finally experience joy. How many of you guys experience overwhelm and burnout? That's my go-to. I'll be honest with you. It's my go-to. Burnout. The first thing I feel is overwhelm and burnout. So what if the open center was your greatest wisdom for others because you understood it in so many ways? It's not fixed, therefore it's open with a well of knowledge. And when we use it this way, it becomes leverage. So we're not a victim to our open centers, we just are leveraging it. So where we're open or undefined is receptive, but it's not you. So here's the best part about human design, if I were to summarize it for you, and it goes like this. You won't miss the mark and you can't, because you're constantly expressing energy, whether you're aware of it or not. Your zone of genius is happening from those that are around you. The problem is that we try to solve our lives, and that's not what we're here to do. We're not here to solve our lives. We're here to create our lives. But as long as we're solving it, we're missing the mark. Okay? So human design has the ability to tell you your specific zone of genius. The very, very, very first step of human design is to know thyself. Once you know yourself, then you are able to have relationships with others. Now, here's the best part. You're not unlovable. You've just been guarded to protect yourself from unconditional love. Your ability to relate equals the success of a relationship. Your ability to vulnerably actually relate with someone is the ability to have thriving relationships. How many of you guys want to know your zone of genius or have better relationships in general? Raise your hand. Who's interested in a more romantic relationship or friendships or just so much abundance? Who wants to know their zone of genius so they can stay in their lane and stop trying to get certifications for things they're not? And the last part, who wants more wealth and prosperity? Who wants like more income? Because I know that we are designed to thrive. Who's so sick of survival? Here's the idea. We are all supposed to thrive and all of us are supposed to be prosperous. It's not just about the 2% that are rich. But there is a very specific way in which you are designed to operate in the fabric of this world. And when you know what that looks like, prosperity is not just the dollar. In fact, the dollar is irrelevant. Human design will show you not just your zone of genius and your gifts and your talents or how to have relationships, but isn't real prosperity having it all and having it all with ease in the themes we've talked about, like success, like, fulfillment and contentment. So here is the number one self-study I'm going to lead you to in the very beginning, because it's not supposed to be complex. So I want to ease your mind and where to start. Contemplation is your tool. If you desire to serve the whole, make an impact, and live out your potential, you have to start with your life's work. So when you pull up your app, you're going to look at this number. This top right number is your life's work. It is going to be the expression in which you view your reality. So if you want a better reality, you have to look at that number and then contemplate how to better serve yourself and see the world through a different lens. Can we all agree that even if reality changed on the outside, if you didn't do the inner work, it still wouldn't matter? You'd still have the same struggles. Do some of you guys know that at an intimate level? It's like this self-work. You're like, damn it, it showed up again. Okay, that's what this is. Human design is trying to say, stop going through the same pattern over and over and over again and beating yourself against a wall. The wall's not going to change, but it does have the ability to show you where you're hanging out in what's called a shadow. So I'm going to leave you with this as we wrap up tonight. Now that you have just an intro of what human design is, I now hope that you're seeing how fun it gets to be when you decide to be you in the fabric of this lifetime. And my mission is for you to understand it is okay to be you, to be authentic, and to believe. And with that process, I actually just want to follow up with saying, if you have any questions, do email me. In fact, we will be sending you, I have a freebie for you guys that will go out in an email. And it's going to take the 64 gene keys, and it's going to take that information into an affirmation. So if you never read the book, you could still raise your vibration, shift your DNA, and turn into the most badass you. And it's going to help you dissolve the distortion and the lies you've been telling yourself so that you get to operate in your gifts in the highest frequency. Because when you choose you, everybody wins. And so that's what I have for you guys tonight with human design. And I know it has so many, sparked so many questions, I'm sure. Strategy and authority, and download the app. So thank you, Wendy. That's what I got tonight. Auburn, I'm actually going to hand over, pause. I'm actually going to hand over the time to Auburn. What we would love to do next is actually build community. So I'm going to have her speak on really just the intention we have for tonight and going forward, really what we can expect from meeting and gathering the last 30 minutes.
Bree, thank you so much. Can everyone hear me? We good? Thumbs up? Okay. That was amazing. And this is what we get to look forward as we move forward, you guys, is we get to hear from people in our community with these beautiful expertises in their area. So we get to hear from the wizards, right, in each area. And this is so exciting. And now what we want to do is we want to break out into 3 rooms with Sal, Bree, that's me, Sal, by the way, AKA Auburn, for those of you from the past, and then Bree and Wendy. And we want to talk about community. We want to talk about why you're here, what it is that you're looking to from this community. What is it that you want moving forward? Because we want to hear from each of you. It's super important. So we are now going to break out into all these rooms, and we want to finish by 8:15. So what do you think, Wendy? We end like 10 to or 5 to? What do you think?
Yeah, probably like 8:10, and then we can just come back into a room and say goodbye to everyone.
Okay. So you guys choose who you would like to, which room you'd like to go into, and we're gonna have this open discussion, and then we're gonna wrap it at the end, 10 to, at 8:20, or sorry, 8:05. 8:05, we're gonna come back together and we'll let Wendy wrap it up. But we're gonna open up all the rooms, go with who you'd like, and we're gonna just continue this discussion of community and how we can all support one another. Okay, so please select the room you want to be in. Here we go, open all rooms. There's 3 different rooms, so go ahead and choose. Hi, guys. Can you guys hear me? Hey, can you guys hear me?
This is David. I can hear you.
Yeah. Hi, everyone. So can we go around and just introduce one another? I would really like that. So let's see. I think we have Covington. Can we start with you?
Sure. Hi, I'm Covington. I'm in North Carolina, and I'm a PhD student in nutrition at UNC Chapel Hill.
Beautiful. Thank you. And may I ask, what is it that drew you to coming tonight and participating?
Well, Angel is my life coach, or soul coach, mentor, whatever, and she invited me to Yen on Fire, to volunteer, and which I did. And she put me up, and it was an amazing experience, and life has been a little different lately, so I just decided that I would continue into it.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for joining us tonight. As a matter of fact, Covington, I'm going to have you call on someone. So that's how we're going to do it. So you share why you're here and what you're hoping to get out of the community. And then if you could pass it to another person in the group.
I don't really have a list of things I'm trying to get out of it, really. I just felt like it was a real magical community to be part of. And I don't know, I think I came away from it and things in the universe started just sort of aligning. So I'm wondering if this is the path that I need to go further down, because things seem to align along it.
That's good, right?
Like,
you're feeling some alignment here with the community.
Yeah, like for instance, I do have a little thing to celebrate, which is I'm going out to visit my son who's in San Diego with his father. And I was thinking, oh, I have to rent an Airbnb and it's going to be expensive because I don't want to be the mother of the couch surfing, which I was like all last year. And a friend of my mom's is like, a friend of mine in San Diego said she doesn't mind if you stay at her house. And I was like, all right, why don't you ask her? Really? And she's letting me. So tomorrow I arrive and this complete stranger is giving me her house in San Diego.
Wow. That's
Yeah.
pretty awesome. Yay.
Yeah, it's
I honestly feel like that's something in our community. So for me, again, what's mine is yours. I don't know how many of you have that, but like, I love that there's just this person in San Diego opening their home to you and that you get to share that experience with them. That's really beautiful.
Right. She's actually in New York, and this is a second home that she has. And she's just like, well, we're not going to be there. So, you're very welcome. And it's a thing I do. I extend that all the time, but very rarely does anyone ever like check back in and see that it was a genuine invitation. I've very rarely taken up on.
That's awesome. And good for you for taking up on it, because that's part of the receiving. Because I don't know how many of you are not as good at receiving on this call.
Well, I haven't been.
That's something I'm working on, is the receiving. I love to give. Receiving is like,
right? That's always been my
Yeah.
thing. But I'm like, you know what? Actually, I'm just gonna open myself up and I'm happy to give back, so hopefully it will
Amazing.
flow back because I feel really great when I'm able to give.
Right. Exactly. Well, thank you. So, is there anyone else you can throw to on this call? You want to throw it to someone else?
Sure. Sabrina's right next to me on the thing, so I might as well pass it to Sabrina.
All right, Sabrina, you're up. Oh, you need to unmute, Sabrina. Can you hear us, Sabrina? You need to unmute. Sabrina, do you know how to unmute yourself? Let's see. I'm trying to unmute you. It's not unmuting. Sabrina, if it's okay, I'm going to pass to someone else. Will you figure out your unmute? I'm so sorry. I'm trying to unmute you. Dana, can I throw it to you?
Yeah, I'd love to. So I'm Dana Parker, and I am an emotional intelligence coach that helps people post-divorce and post-painful breakup. So I've been doing this work for 14 years. I love what I get to do. And the reason why I'm here, there's lots of reasons, but I felt it's been several years since I've felt connected to a community because of my own journey, and I felt so supported when I left Yin, and I've connected with people, and it has been just so healing to participate and be a part of this community and to connect with other people who are doing this work. I feel like a lot of the people here are like me, and we're walking this path and we're trying to help other people better their lives and make themselves better and be happier and to move forward and really move in the higher vibration and frequencies of this planet. And I'm all about it. I want to see how everyone's doing it and how everyone's going about their business. I want to cheer people on. And one of my greatest actual gene keys in human design is the great gatherer. So I'm a huge advocate of community and communion. So that's a big part of my essence, if you will. So that's why I'm here.
Oh, that's amazing. And Dana, just really quick, I want to share. So I love that the gatherer. So by the way, if any of you are down in Southern Utah, St. George area, we're doing monthly dinners. And we had a dinner last night, and it just, everything you said was exposed during the dinner. It just, this connectivity, just being seen by people that are similar, of similar heart and mind. And this whole thing about family, I actually drew a card before, from the Gene Keys, by the way. I drew a card before going to the dinner, and I said, what is it that the family should know? The card I drew was the family. It was the family. That was the card I drew asking what the family should know. And it's all about friendship and connectivity and seeing one another. So thank you, Dana.
That's awesome. I just want to plant a seed because I'm up in Utah County that I would love to, because I'm the great gatherer, like I want to talk and just plant the seed that I would love to do something like that up here to cultivate that goodness here and to get people knowing about Yin and to get people connected in. So I'm just planting that seed for later conversations.
Yes, thank you, Dana. I really appreciate that. Okay, can you throw it to someone else?
Yes, I'd love to hear from Connie Alsop.
Connie.
Here. Thank you. Hi, I'm Connie Alsop. I'm up in West Jordan, so I would get together with you for sure, Dana. That'd be great. I am a service provider in a few different ways. It is my passion and my mission to assist people, to allow people to just, my goal is to allow and help others to allow and embrace this journey that we're on. And what I got out of Yin, it was just so much fun. It was just, the energy was fun, and it was just so much fun to be around others in in multiple different types, walks of life, at multiple different stages, and just learn from everyone, and just be in that space. I appreciated it, and I thought it was just great.
Thank you, Connie.
Thank you.
And I would love for you and Dana to get together, since you guys are sisters in the Northern Hemisphere.
Yeah.
So, okay, Connie, who would you like to kick it off to? By
The
the way,
other
before
Connie.
we do that, Connie did a reading for my partner. And my partner is a tough cookie, you guys. Like, he really is. And he was blown away, as was I, with the reading that Connie gave my partner. So I highly recommend Connie, you guys. She's really just a freaking amazing individual. As the rest of you that I do know, except there's only one person, it's Andrea. I don't know you so well, but I'm looking forward to getting to know you. But yeah, I highly recommend her services. So
Thank you. That's sweet.
And Connie, who do you want to kick it off to?
The other Connie.
Yeah, it's so
Hey.
fun to meet another Connie. Yeah, so I'm Connie Salgado. I currently live in Cedar City. So yeah, why wouldn't I go to Yin on Fire? I'm a joy maker and a fun haver. That's really my profession. But right now that looks like footstone therapy and health coaching, and managing a cute little crystal shop and energy center here in Stone Path. But I absolutely loved Yin on Fire, like the rest of you. I got involved early on and had the opportunity to kind of rub shoulders with some of the organizers and learn. I have been just learning, just watching how this event unfolded, and watching the marketing and the gathering, and just observing the love that is behind this event. And I just want to be a part of everything that's going on here. So I'm just here to soak it up, to learn, and to connect with really cool people like yourselves.
Oh, thank you, Connie. And by the way, so you have a shop up there in Cedar City?
It's not my shop. I manage it. It's a crystal shop called Stone Path. And we also do energy medicine and massage here. So this front is a store, and then we have treatment rooms in the back.
Well, good to know. Thank you.
Yeah, it's a fun place. If you're ever in Cedar City, stop by. It's called Stone Path. Come visit me.
Thank you. And Andrea, so nice to have you. And I'm looking forward to getting to know you more. So tell us about you and what is lighting you up about this.
Yeah, so actually Angel was my soul mentor as well. I've known Angel for a long time, and she helped get me through a divorce last year. And I'm actually in Enoch, so Connie, I'm gonna come find you and get a massage.
Oh yes, yeah,
because I badly need it. But yeah, I just love everything about Yin. It was amazing. And normally, like, I haven't done my human design. I don't know my gene keys. I've been digging so much into all the things that are me, and learning so many things that I'm just here to fill up, because I'm in where I am right now. I currently teach at a RTC for young girls who are dealing with trauma. And it's very taxing emotionally and physically, being a single mom working full time with these girls that have such emotional like turmoil, constant, and so I'm here to fill myself up so that I can keep doing the work that I am doing right now. Whether or not that's always going to be my work, that's the rest of what I'm here for, to kind of figure out where my spot is. But I love what I do. And like, today was stretchy, today was hard. I had a lot of screaming girls, and I need this community so badly. I need the like-minded, high vibrating people that can just help fill me up and keep me going to do what I need to do.
Beautiful. Thank you, Andrea. It's really nice to meet you and welcome.
Yeah, thank you. It's really great to be here.
I am not going to lie. It is just so wonderful to see all of us like-hearted people coming together. Because I don't know about you, but so it's really interesting. In the past week, talking with individuals about Yin on Fire and other things, they're like, I have a lot of friends that have a lot of friends, but yet it's interesting because a lot of these people are saying, I'm lonely. They have tons of friends, they have tons of family, but they feel lonely. Why do we feel lonely when we have friends and family? My answer, and I don't know what your answer is, but my answer is because we're not living in community. Even though we have friends and family, we're still not living in this nature of what I call synarchy. So we have hierarchy right now. We have hierarchy in our world. And through this hierarchy, I actually feel like that loneliness comes through a hierarchy. But when we are a synarchy, when we are in a circular, like Knights of the Round Table, we all see each other. We all see that we contribute to the whole. We all see that we have gifts. Each of us here on this call has a unique gift for that whole, right? And when we come together, it's not as lonely. And this is one of the biggest and most exciting things for me about Yin on Fire is not just this family reunion, which I think it is. I think it's a soul family reunion that takes place once a year, but what is it that we're doing year round to see one another? And so coming on these calls and seeing each of you and what it is that you're bringing to the world, your unique gifts, and harmonizing with each other and harmonizing our gifts, it's really beautiful. So I honor each of you here on this call, and I'm grateful that we get to see each other and that we get to support each other. Because as you can see, this world's a little nutty. I don't know about what you've been seeing, but I'm like, what is going on? I don't even turn on the news anymore because it's quite frightening. But what I feel here and what I'm witnessing here is true connection and witnessing each other, right? And the gifts. So I'm super grateful for that. We have like 1 minute left. Does anyone have any comments before we go back to the normal room? Anyone?
I just want to tell Connie I put my phone number in the chat for her.
Oh, did you get that, Connie?
Yeah, so that she has it.
Okay, good.
Just to connect.
All right.
And
Okay,
thank you
well,
so
I'm
much.
going to
Thank
get us
you,
back
Sal,
in the
for
other.
leading this. Thank you for leading it.
Thank you guys. Thank you all for showing up. This is so wonderful to see all of you. Mwah. I love it. Okay, let's see. Breakout rooms, close all rooms. Let's see. Okay, here we go. All right, we have about 60 seconds.
Hi. Are you guys like fired up?
Yes.
Can we just keep stoking the fire until the next Yin on Fire?
Yes.
Okay, let's do it.
We weren't ready. We had 3 more people.
We're stoking the fire so when they're here, they're warm.
Okay, there were 3 more people and they still need a turn. So we're gonna have 3 more people before we close. Who were in my room that did not get a turn? I know it was Colleen and there were 2 others. One with a P, but I didn't see their name. Pipe, I want you to just jump on. Colleen, can you unmute?
Yes, here I am in my garage. Can you see me?
No, I can't see you. I can hear you.
Okay, it was locking up. Oh, sorry, I was out for a walk. Stressful day. My name's Colleen Potter, and
Oh, we lost you, sis. Uh-oh, we lost you. Colleen, we love you. We're sending you all sorts of good vibes.
thank you.
Okay, love you. Wait, it was cutting in and out. Okay, Ellie,
Okay.
we want to go to you, and then whoever is with the P. So Ellie didn't get to go, and the person with the P didn't get to go. Ellie, do you want to go? She's like, no, not with everybody. Okay, all right. How about who's the one with the P, the initial P? Is that Patty? All right.
Yeah, that's me.
Okay, wonderful. I just want you to say your name. You saw what we did. Just what's your intention, and we're gonna send you a bunch of love.
Just send me a bunch of love because I don't know what I'm doing yet.
No.
I really don't. I loved Yin on Fire, and I made a few connections, and the guy that talked on the colors,
Justin Morris.
yeah, he was amazing, and he told me a lot about myself that resonated, and I guess I'm looking for more of that, more of what resonates and what I can take into my life to make it better.
Beautiful. Send Patty all the love, you guys. That's what we were doing in our group, sending love, sending light, sending energy, being heard. And you guys, a bunch of you shared numbers of you want to get together and go to coffee. You want to learn from each other. Those of you that found a workshop provider that you really, really loved, and you're like, I want more of them, like Justin Morris, go on that link in the chat. You're going to see a link so you can find out how to get in touch with those people. If you want to know more, if you want to dig deeper, right? Like go find them. But I want you guys, this community piece, I believe, is one of the most important and impactful things about the Monday nights, is so that you can learn and build this community outside of just that once a year, and that you can be seen, heard, and understood, and feel the love every single week that you felt in that beautiful sacred space of Three Peaks Oasis. We can continue to do this every single week, and you can share this. This is open for anybody. It's not just the people at Yin on Fire. And we'll have more breakout rooms so that we can form more intimate connections with 6 or 7 people, and we'll have more time. So next week we're gonna have a itinerary for the next month, so you'll know who's teaching, and then you're gonna build the community so that you'll just kind of get an idea. Okay, Monday night at 7 p.m. I get to learn for a while, and then I get to go and be with my people. And so tonight you got to experience a little bit about that. I would say, let's see, how do we want to close this? Sal and Bree, would you please just say just a little something, and then we'll close, and we will have this recorded so we can send this out. A lot of people had a lot of questions for you, Bree. And so I want you to share your email address again, because people were like, well, I didn't think I was a hermit, but it says I'm a hermit, those types of things. So
Yeah, in closing, it just feels really important. Sorry, Sal, you're muted. Okay. So it just feels really important, just from the mini breakout that we just had, and from sharing what really feels true in my heart. It's just how yummy and how good this feels to see all walks of life coming into a very similar walk of life, which is just an unfolding process of unconditional love and willing to be seen, even though it's scary. And the fact that you're here, even though it's scary, just shows how amazing and immaculate you really are. And just showing up tonight, I think your presence feeds me just as much, regardless of who's doing the talking. I just think that we can feel it, and we can create the intention just by showing up in a screen and actually just wanting to intentionally connect. So my last piece is just thank you. Thank you, every single one of you. I really am inspired to be in your presence.
Love that. Love you. And it's Bree at yenonfire.com, or is it a different one that you're having them send it?
For my human design, it's
Yeah.
briemarie0143@gmail.com or briemurrayAnderson.com.
Okay, would you put that in the chat so that they can get that? So if you have human design questions, there's no way we could have done that specifically for all of you tonight. It was just an overview. But if you get your profile and you have a question, Bree can give you an answer, and if you need an actual reading, then you guys can talk about that too. So and you are Bree does you actually certify others in this modality for their businesses, their health like their healing businesses and things like that. So if you really want to know how to do this for other people, she is actually the one that does it for all my clients and for all my family members. She's really, really gifted in doing this. So thank you, Bree, for sharing your time here. Sal, do you have anything left to say before we wrap things up?
Yeah, just really quickly, this is so beautiful to congregate here as community online and see one another, especially for those of us who are not in the same vicinity, being St. George. We had a lot of people joining us from the Salt Lake area, which is amazing. I do want to add that in addition to these virtual community events, I am putting together monthly dinners in Southern Utah on high conscious properties. So properties that have labyrinths or medicine wheels, properties that want to give to the community. So if you have interest in coming together in a physical way, meaning, coming to these dinners and having community and being and mingling with people in person, please contact me at auburn@yenonfire.com, and I will connect you to this community of these monthly dinners. But if not, I'm so grateful to see all of you on here in this virtual manner so that we can highlight and see one another. Just really loved hearing from each of you tonight. And Bree, you're awesome, amazing. Love you, girl. And of course, we miss Angel and David, who are not with us tonight, but super thankful. And Wendy, I'll pass it back to you.
Beautiful. Was there anybody else that was not heard in their group? I feel very strongly that if you did not get to be heard, that we can open this up for another minute or two. Was there anybody? Please just chat so I can see you. Raise your hand. Somehow let me know that you are here, because I would love for you to be able to speak, because there's power with being able to do that. Let's see. Diana, were you able to speak? Diana, I just want to make sure.
I mean, I was able to speak and share why I showed up.
Beautiful.
But there was an invitation to share a little bit more, if you were struggling with something, which I can talk to people individually about as well.
Beautiful. Okay, so Diana is holding the space, opening and saying, it sounds to me like you want to build community. You want to be there for people if they need someone and they need to be heard, or you need to be heard, right? So dropping your number, she's got her number right in there. Many of you put the numbers in there. This is recorded. And so is there anything else you wanted to share, Diana?
Yes, and I don't want to take the time.
Okay. All right. Okay. Connect with Diana, y'all. She's got this. It sounds like she's just got a heart of gold. And so with that being said, thank you for being at our inaugural Family Soul Evening, Monday night, 7 to 8:15. And you will be getting one email per week with upcoming upcoming Family Soul Evening, so you know who's going. We're going to make sure that we're trying really hard not to have more than one email per week, so that it's really manageable and it's really a beautiful thing that you look forward to. So invite your friends, invite your family members, anybody that you think would be blessed by being a part of this beautiful community. And with that being said, I love to end something with Satnam. I am truth. Truth is my identity. Satnam to you. Truth is your identity. See you next Monday.
Thank you, everyone.
Good night.